Tonight, as the opposition NPP seeks for answers as to their poor performance in the 2024 general elections, the General Secretary of the party is revealing the performance of the Akufo-Addo-led government hugely contributed to the poor showing of the party in the 2024 elections. Details as he reviews the government was adamant to the realities.
To the extent that Akufo-Addo be a DDEP, Domestic Debt Exchange Program.
Yeah.
Do baby no policy abandoned by say yes, several banks named Akufo-Addo car more. He took that decision, but it didn't go down well.
We have more on this particular story as he absolves himself of any blame in that particular loss.
Cabinet, right? Maybe call cabinet.
Yeah.
Me national chairman.
Yeah.
Busa cabinet members or muhunyina. The told be a team coming. Omunyina one side. Na me jina one side.
Na nyomu.
Chairman, national chairman. Chaso. With the team chaso.
Okay.
We have more here on Top Story, always brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Well, tonight, the General Secretary of the opposition New Patriotic Party is revealing that the performance of the Akufo-Addo-led government hugely contributed to the poor showing of the party in the 2024 elections. Now, we know that the party is currently in a meeting trying to understand what the party supporters do make of the party's performance in the 2024 elections. Now, ahead of that particular meeting, the General Secretary has revealed that, well, some economic decisions of the government, were handled poorly. He spoke on Kumasi-based Kesben FM. Listen.
In opposition, Breno, a businessman, a academia for ya, a lawyer for ya, a judges for ya, doctors for ya, and almost all party. Sasson and Rant, sad time, none looks very, very vibrant. International of Ghana, there was a student from SARS in ADH. Code in the Quasem said, first 4 years, na economy no margin so economy. So hope. But me jitum say from 2020 about 2024 no mamu yeden pa.
Yeah.
To the extent said Akufo-Addo be a DDEP, Domestic Debt Exchange Program.
Yeah.
Do baby no policy abandoned by say yes, several banks named Akufo-Addo car more. He took that decision, but it didn't go down well with your base because we share your base now. To na me teach him. A young crown businessman for an academia for no open support here.
Yeah.
Imagine say be a Usikada bank now or now to me can natural say be a next 5 years 6 years between kankaka. No matter the explanation about the baby say it will not put bread on the table for you.
Yeah.
To say be a always higher or no. Such a person or the NPP pound to aban.
So what he was basically saying is that, the first term of the government was very smooth. The performance of the economy was well, but from the second one, where they implemented the DDEP, for example, he says that particular one wasn't handled well, and it didn't. The way the thing was handled wasn't received well by the base of the party. He then went on to say that as many people try to point accusing fingers at him, he cannot be blamed for the party's loss because he was frank with the government over its performance. Listen.
For me to have come out then to say, baby, you do know, Oman Penny, Minister, I can't maybe with them, but they with them, I can't have one thing. Say it's hard time, man. As a way reshuffle. To the extent, say, make I say, employ appointee now to. Na, a Juman, so Oman Penny can reshuffle no abra. For akuna eto
yeah
ni mpeni pa foforo.
That's true.
Say party na me kwa na me penny wo mu.
Yeah.
Me kan no, bo nipa ba ko ba bo ntim be support me.
Me Fatima hu obia.
Bo nipa ba ko.
Me hu obia. Ti omo chese wo mfisu so na ntimi ni general secretary na sefo ni nyina no. That is not the issue.
You see, but say na make sure say it's not about age. It's about India wo.
Okay.
Any adwuma wo ye. Any akukudura wo.
Yeah.
Me say me be gira bonten kan no. Omo kan penifo omo am so munmu nimde omo ho no. Omo nya akukuduro. Etim be hwe man peni anim, etim be hwe aban no ka chance aban. The general secretary kan ne ne ya adwene. To sana mo no. Me see Sebi asem your call lesson you lusua. People are in the haste to find means to blame people. But and then no solution.
Right.
As you fight issue no one by one. A toss me no. Cabinet, right? Maybe call cabinet.
Yeah.
Me national chairman.
Yeah.
Busa cabinet members or muhunyina. It told be a Timmy coming. Omunyina one side. Na me jina one side.
Na nyomo.
Chairman, national chairman. Twaso. With the Timmy twaso. Timmy twaso. Meka.
Okay.
You see, me no be a say me ko yo hu from ko yes amasa.
Onye pushover.
Me ne pushover. Say me kase me ya dia me. Na so una no na ukra to me no.
Okay.
Obetima kire wadwene. Obetima kasa kasese. But eduru baby na dodo na so omo nko ha. Ke wodi de na betimi aye. Oye no oye
okakuo no ho.
And say whatever decision you be taking no. At least obekire wadwene. But this is the view of the majority say yes the yeko.
So what he basically was trying to put across is that, well, he cannot be blamed because he was frank with the government, especially when it got to a point in the history of the party. No general secretary has ever come out to tell the president to undertake a reshuffle, but he did, and he asked the question that when he called for a reshuffle, who in the party leadership came to back his call? Nobody did. It shows that he was frank with them. He then went ahead to say that he goes to cabinet, and at cabinet, he says his mind on issues, and at times the chairman of the party will try to persuade him to stand down his point of view, but he says no, he's not a pushover, so he sticks to his position. But this is a group of people. If he takes a particular a stand, and the larger part of the committee says they are going the other way, he has no choice, and that's why they were involved in what we also the performance that they got in 2024. But he cannot be blamed for that. Well, the Global Info Analytics has also done a certain kind of work, or they've done a research on trying to understand from Ghanaians who is to blame for the party's woeful performance in the 2024 general elections. My colleague Papani Ashele joins me in studio with the result of that particular survey. Papani, what do we know of that result?
So, Brace, first of all, from the research and their findings, they came up with 7 individuals, 7 names that have a role to play in the defeat of the NPP in the last general elections. That only means that at least from the people they surveyed, these 7 people had a role to play in the defeat of the party.
So that's what the respondents.
But they also
think.
ranked and gave percentages to who had the utmost responsibility and who contributed the most to their defeat.
According to the survey.
So we'll start from the least numbers here, and this is 9%. That of all the people, this 7 individuals, this person had 9% percentage was reason for their loss in the general elections, and this is supposed to be Kennedy Japan.
Okay, so in the minds of the people, Kennedy Japan had the least contribution to the poor performance the NPP witnessed in 2024.
That's one way to put it as well. You also come to the next. It says that it's a group of people, the members of parliament, 26%. Were responsible, or at least they thought that the loss of the party, 26% should be attributed to members of parliament. And then it moves to government appointees, and these will be people, ministers, people who served as CEOs to some of the boards and also to some of the agencies under the Nana Akufo-Addo government. They were 32% led to that of the loss of the party. Now it comes to 33, just 1% more, and that will be the vice presidential candidate of the NPP in the last general elections, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh. They say that 33% of the reason for their loss could be attributed to him.
Okay.
And then you come to Dr. Baumia. Dr. Baumia, they said, was 37%. Not forget, the next person to him is 33, so just 4% more.
Yeah.
That he 37% was the reason they lost. And
So
then,
the 37% of the respondents think that Mahmoud Baumia contributed to their loss.
yes,
in this.
and it says that the topic for that particular page says responsibility for MPP's defeat in the 2024
election.
So Baumia had a 37% responsibility for their loss in their defeat in the 2024 elections. The person after Baumia, which is 37%, now goes to 40%, and that is Ken Ofori-Atta, who was the finance minister largely throughout the term of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Some group of MPs came out to call on the president
largely led by Andy Appiah Kubi.
Yeah, to remove him because he was the cause of the challenges they were encountering in government.
Unprecedented move at the time to have a sitting government, you have members of parliament who ordinarily always be towing the line of government. Saying, no, we don't want this person in government. Not forgetting that the government apparatus says 32% led to the defeat of the NPP. Okay. So Ken Ofori-Atta has been separated from that government
machinery,
singled individually, that for 40%, he had 40% responsibility for their loss.
Okay.
And then from 40, we now move to 68%. This will be the last person, arguably, with the most responsibility from the respondents for adding or for contributing to their loss. And this is the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
Okay.
68% of the respondents thought that he had the bigger share of the contributing to their loss in the former elections.
Interesting. But we do know that today the party has converged at the Alisa Hotel here in Accra to deliberate on the report by the committee, the Professor Okwe committee report, to understand what should be the next step for the party. But even before this report was ready, a former member of parliament for Dom Kwabinya has been speaking and sharing her point on the relevance of such a committee. Listen to her as she gives her thought on the committee.
So I'm telling you, we are the cause of our own loss.
Have you appeared before the Professor Michael Quay's committee? You have stories to tell.
It's a very bogus committee.
Why do you say so?
Why? And a committee that is put together, and it's an intentional committee put together just to make sure that we find certain facts and push a particular candidate away from the candidacy so that we can bring our own. You call that a credible fact-finding committee?
So today the party is meeting to analyze this committee, despite the point that Joseph shares there. Kenneth Jesse is our man on the ground, and he's joining us now. Kenneth, what more can you share with us?
Well, the meeting concluded moments ago. President Akufo-Addo has exited the place as we speak right now. And about 30 minutes ago, I spoke to the communications director of the New Patriotic Party, Richard Ahiagba, who told me that they are not going to make the findings of that report public, at least for now. They're going to deliberate on the way forward. And as we speak, there's a press conference ongoing, which is being addressed by the minority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, and also the General Secretary of the party, Justin Kodua-Frimpong. And he has reiterated the comments that was made by Richard Ahiagba, saying that they will come out to speak on this report at the right time, when they want to. And they have cautioned all party members from the top to the bottom that nobody has been obligated to speak on it except when they are being given the green light. So
okay, but
now,
Kenneth, as you said, the minority leader is speaking. Can you get closer? We listen to exactly what he's telling. He's saying.
Yes, I'll get closer now. But on my way, though, I need to make a point that the General Secretary has also said that the party will embark on a thank you tour from next week to give thanks to God for all that has happened to them, although they did not emerge victorious. They suffered one of their worst humiliating defeat in recent history, and I'm getting closer to the press conference that is currently being addressed by the minority leader.
All right, okay. We'll come back to you when you get there. But we do have on the line with us Musa Dankwa. He's executive director of the Global Info Analytics. They undertook that survey that we shared the results with you. I'm grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, if we look at the research, we didn't see where you took on the party machinery. Is it that the respondent did not cite the party executives or the machinery itself to have contributed to their performance?
Right. Thank you very much. This was a close-ended question, which was based initially on the work that we did to pick up the names or the issues or the people are blaming. So the party machinery didn't really feature that much. So they were really centered on these particular individuals and group of individuals.
So the understanding is that the percentages assigned to them is the level at which they contributed to the party's loss in 2024.
Exactly. Okay, go ahead.
No. Just make a point. I'll come to you.
Yes, what I was going to say is that people were given this list, but we asked them to pick the top three. So they had to assign the blame to top three persons or group of persons. And these were the numbers that came out from that.
As a pollster, what's your expectation of how the party in this particular healing process that they're undertaking, what do you expect of them to do with in particular the research you've done to help in the process they're undertaking?
At least it sets the record straight. Those who were denying that there were reasons why the party lost, consistently these polls have shown that these were the individuals who were to be blamed for the loss. Now, people must admit their contributions and probably apologize to the party openly, and then probably the party can move on from there. I mean, if you look at even the breakdown of the blame, among people who are NPP, 59% of the blames went on Addo. Among those who are NPP, Baumia is about 30%, Matthew Kukuprempe about 36%, Ken Ufureta 38%. So, I mean, people were very emphatic. Either NDC, NPP, floating vote, across board, they were unanimous about the level of blame. So I think people must just accept blame and apologize and let the party move forward.
Which means that if the party's research that they've done, the Professor Michael Quay report, if they single out Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, it won't be in sync with what the grassroots of the party is thinking or are thinking.
No, not just grassroots, not in sync with the whole country.
Oh, interesting. We'll see how it goes. So, I mean, I'm grateful to you. But stay with me. Let me bring in Dr. Amwakoba. He is someone who contested to be a chairman of the party some time ago. He also has some views to share with us here. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, you really understand this party and what they are going through. What is your expectation of how the party should heal? We understand that Ghanaians think you can't put all the blame on Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. You've seen, they say Ghanaians are rather citing Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the loss. What do you think the party should do? How should they progress from where they are?
The party should accept it and not allow the president to make any decisions. You see, he has to be magnanimous. You are the big guy. You are not running again. If they are blaming you, accept it. For the sake of the party, accept it. And make sure now we are going to do better. This is what to do. Don't sit there and try to deflect that no, you didn't do it. Now they want to come up with a scenario that the party lost because they presented the wrong candidate. So put the blame on Bawumia. No, this is not acceptable. This is what the president is doing. And besides, today when he needs to talk about what went wrong, he shouldn't take a leading role in it. If you see that he is the reason why it went wrong, why should he be taking a leading role in it? He's going to tell us he didn't do it. No. He shouldn't even be there. What is his role now?
Okay.
But let him know what is happening. And he should not behave as if he is still the leader of the party. He is not. And by his shenanigans and all they're doing, this is not this calamity to the party. Enough is enough.
100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%.
Minister says the party leaders cannot do without him. Every instant they get, call him. They call him. As if he's going to tell us something so important. What?
All right, I'm grateful. Stay with me. Let me take you back to Alisa Hotel, where our man Kenneth Jesse is still monitoring, the development there. Kenneth Jesse is joining us back on the line. Ken, so let's understand what.
So hang up the line and let me do the recording.
Okay, all right. So that's it. But the director of communications of the party, Richard Anyaba, has been speaking at this particular press conference. Listen.
I think we had a National Executive Committee meeting earlier and then transitioning into National Council meeting. The committee, the 2024 Election Review Committee, came to present their report to National Council. That report, generally, we've accepted it, and a committee has been put together to work on some of the recommendations in that report going forward. So that's the extent to which I can give you information right now.
Is that report going to be made public?
I don't think so, because it's an internal document that will be used to aid the party's reform process to position us for victory in 2020. So I can guarantee you, even though it's not expressly stated, it is implied that that document cannot be a public document.
But we know that the NPP is a political party. You deal with numbers. Your supporters would like to know really what happened.
Well, there's a way our supporters will know about it without it being public. So it's a working document. It's a document that the party is going to work to. Most of the recommendations there will be key in what we do now till election 2028.
It's 4 now, getting to 5. How long should we wait till we hear something from the party?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of conversations going on there, and I'm very sure that in a matter of time now, it shouldn't be too long. You've been here since morning, I should say, so maybe in a matter of hours, we should be wrapping up. And I think that the General Secretary, supported by the National Chairman, would give a press conference immediately after the discussions there.
Yeah.
So that's the director of communications of the party, Richard Anyaba, speaking to Kenneth Jesse after that meeting. But Kenneth is still there at Alisa monitoring what's happening there. Kenneth, what more is happening?
Well, the joint press conference with the minority leader and also the general secretary has concluded. I initially mentioned what the general secretary had talked about, and the minority leader also touched on the recent attempts to remove the Chief Justice, Gov't, Tokonu, from office, and then he said that all the judges that are currently on at the Supreme Court should stand firm and should not be intimidated, and that the new Progressive Party does not support the intimidation of any judge who has been appointed to the Supreme Court. And he also reiterated the point that was made by the party's general secretary that they are going to make the decision or the report, the outcome of the report, public only when they feel like. And as it stands now, they are not telling anybody, they have not told anybody to go public and say anything that will go contrary to what was found in the report. So as it stands now, they are withholding the report. They will not make it public until they feel the time is right. Okay. So, I mean, earlier, the former president exited the premise without uttering a word to us. And Alexander Afenyomarkin, the minority leader, and also the general secretary of the party, Justin Kodia, have also concluded their press conference and left the premises.
All right, grateful to you. That's Kenneth Jesse there. Let's bring in Dr. Kwame Asante. He's a political scientist with the University of Ghana. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining. The party says they will make this report public. But Dr. Amakoba is with me. Doc, you had some position earlier. The party says this report will not be made public. You side with them?
Well, maybe not the whole report is public, but for sure, what is the merits to come up? What secret is it? We failed. That is a secret. We did that, and that's why we failed. When we were saying, taking the 8, we were about to commit the colossal, abysmal performance in the history of the party. And you were still saying basically, that tells you that we didn't know what we were talking about. The party apparatus didn't know what we were talking about. They didn't even see the trouble coming to take action to prevent it. and that we will not talk about it. What is this?
Okay.
It is not good.
Okay. All right. Now they are about to undertake, rebuilding of the party from the polling station level up to the top. What would be your advice to the party in trying to rebuild the party from the base?
Sorry, I can't hear your voice very well.
I'm asking what would be your advice to the party as they attempt to rebuild the party from the base?
Well, you see, I don't know what they talked about because they have not made it public. So it makes it difficult for you to talk about it openly.
Okay. All right.
If you make it public, all of us are on the same page.
Okay.
I'm not saying everything. Look, the former president is very sensitive. Now, when you say 67% say he is the cause of the disease, he doesn't like that. He will want you to say majority say that he is the cause of the disease. That's how he wants you to say. But would that help you know exactly what the margin is? The majority, what majority? 51% or 67%. This is the problem. It's a matter of semantics, but it makes a lot of difference. He is the cause of the defeat state, and he is.
But can it be all about? Can it all be about Akufo-Addo?
Yes, I'm talking about him. Look at all the things he did. Look at all the things he did in 8 years. Fighting with Parliament, fighting with his own MPs, campaigning against his own MPs, money, flying with on private jets with his girlfriend. What is going on? Okay. You don't know these things. You still can't say it. What is going on here? Then we are doomed because we will never tell the truth. That even the thing the whole country knows, we want to keep it a secret. What kind of nonsense is that? What is it in the report that the country doesn't know? What?
I'm grateful to you, Dr. Amakoba, joining us. But let me bring in Dr. Asa Asante. He is a political science scientist with the University of Ghana. Doc, the NPP just concluded their meeting. They say the report will not be made public now. I mean, from all that we know, how do you want the party to progress from here?
I think that what they have done is a good thing. Anytime any party goes to election, you need to look at what went wrong, after which you get the report, you look at the findings, and you try to address the problems at the national level, at the regional level, and constituency level. Then beyond that, any other problem that lingers within the political space of the party, you are trying to address it head on. So I think that is the first point. The next point is that they should master the courage and go by the dictates of the report without adding and subtracting into the content of the report. That once they do that, then they can assure themselves that they are on the right track. But if they want to shortchange the whole process and then shove some under the carpet in terms of the content, I'm afraid it will fire.
I'm grateful to you for joining us. This has been top. So I'm also grateful to Musa Dankwa, who joined us via Zoom. This was brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy holy sleep. Up next is Newsnight.